My analysts are already seated with me, but before I bring them to the microphone, I have Chinese Esang. Chinese Esang is an online entrepreneur, a blogger, and a rights activist. Good evening, Chinese.
Good evening, Big Sam. Good evening, Aquabomites, and good evening, listeners. And we thank God that we've already entered the first week of the new year. I mean, it was just like yesterday that we said Happy New Year, and here we are today. Yeah. We're already 1 week gone. So
7 days gone.
Yes, and that means that the year is also starting on a very good note, and with lots of optimism that this year, 2025, is going to be a year of accomplishments.
All right, thank you, Chinese Esang. What caught my attention was a trending video, capturing the moment Ghana's newly inaugurated president, John Mahama. In a trending video I saw, mistakenly referred to our Nigerian president, who was at that event, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu himself. He mistakenly referred to him as the president of the Federal Republic of Ghana.
Your Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President of the Federal Republic of Ghana, Her Excellency the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Jane Nana Opoku-Agyemang, Your Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President of the Federal Republic of Ghana, and special guest of honor for this occasion.
It can happen to anybody. That's a typical slip of tongue, but the important thing is that John Mahama is having a second term as the Ghanaian president.
Okay, that's really, the thing is that, okay, let's even go to the comic aspect of his inauguration, and that's when he referred to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president of Nigeria, as the president of the Federal Republic of Ghana. He's 65. I'm not saying that can be attributed to senility, because at that point, he's still very active, and I can also say that it can maybe suffering from some form of geriatrics, medical condition for aged people. I don't think that. It simply tells you that nobody is immune to slip of tongue. Yeah, nobody's immune to that.
Comes to drama,
Yeah, that just by the way, now this President John Dramani Mahama was when he was the vice president to his principal, I think his principal was John Evan Atamil, who died in office in 2012, and then he took over. He was just the vice president at that time, 1.5 years to the end of the first term in office. So he stayed out the first term, went for election, won, and then was to go for his own second term in office. But unfortunately, the Ghanaian people voted him out. Nana Akufo-Addo of the NPP, won that election. And I asked, why didn't he win his second term? It was simple. At that time, there was some sort of gang up by the opposition against, the NDC. That's the National and Democratic Party. So there was a gang up, and they said he was corrupt, and of course Ghanaians didn't vote for him, and they ended up voting for Nana Akufo-Addo, the outgoing president. Now the question I ask again, so how come the NPP, the vice president that ran against him, who is Dr. Mohamedou Bawumia, how come they didn't vote him? Why is it that the NPP did not win that election? It was simple. Just what the kind of thing that we are experiencing this period, the economic hardship, it's like a rain, falling on almost all the roof in Africa, in West Africa. It is not only immune to Nigeria. If you go to Ghana now, you see the hardship, and the Ghanaians are not happy. So they decided that they will vote him out, even when Nana Akufo-Addo, brought in free education, which of course people would have thought that. The thing about African politicians, when they are seeking elective offices, you see how humble they become. That's why you see sometimes they become agbado eaters. You see them going to Amala joints, joining the common people, just to wear that facade of humility. just to make the people begin to believe that when they come, there will be leaders that can be reached out to easily. But immediately they have that power given to them, you become unapproachable. But instead, what do we have? We have politicians who use political power for self-aggrandizement, to better their lot, to begin to, serve themselves and their family, instead of the people who gave them this political power, where they're supposed to use this political power to, change the economic fortune of these people. So politicians who exploit the state resources while the interest of the economic prosperity of the people that puts them there is now put at the back burner. That's why you can see that they will not provide healthcare service for the people. For example, now you see a senator that is representing a constituency now come home. You have the constituency, but you're unable to make yourself accessible, to the people that actually voted you in, that gave you that political power. You won't see them. You're at National Assembly, you are there. You cannot see them. Which of these constituents are you indeed representing? If you cannot make yourself accessible to them, suddenly you get to that office, you become unapproachable. Nobody can see you. Nobody can even call you. Nobody can even meet you. So how do you use this political power that the people... Yes! How do you use this political power that's given to you by your own people to advance the cause of their prosperity?
We need to run because of time. We still have one or two other things we need to look at.
I want to say concerning what Atiku said when he's saying that Nigeria is moving to a one-party state. And yes, that's what I'm saying, that sometimes when an injustice is done to some other person because it didn't affect you as at that time and you look the other way, so you should not be surprised, or you shouldn't complain when injustice visits you. That's what they all do when they are, at the ends of affairs. You see them. I mean, it is in this country that we saw when OBJ was the president of this country, then how almost all the states were just PDP, 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 PDP. Atiku was the vice president. What did he say about it? He didn't say anything. He didn't do anything to ensure that people who really merited to be voted for did get their votes as at that time. He didn't complain. He favored it. He enjoyed that. Now it has happened. He's complaining. Why is he complaining? So the point is this: when you have a responsibility to make things right, to keep to the rules of the game, then you have to do everything that is necessary to ensure that people follow processes, follow rule of law, follow democratic processes, so that, because tomorrow you won't be there forever. I always say that. Look at what is happening in Ghana now. The ruling party, NPP, now couldn't even win an election. What happened? Because it's just a reminder to our own president. Because what Ghana is facing, Nigeria isn't facing twice of that in terms of hardship. So if they can vote out the ruling party in Ghana for the hardship that they're going through, then of course that should be something that should give the ruling party, something to worry about. That if things that the citizens need, if you cannot keep to your responsibility, your promise of making life better for your citizens, of course, I'm not saying what happened in Ghana may likely to happen.
No, sorry. No, Chinese may not be entirely not correct. Ghana has always been...
Okay, Chinese, quickly, because we need to...
Yeah, I think, Sam, the thing is, I don't want to dignify what former President Olusegun Obasanjo said about, and because I don't understand, is he wishing Nigeria that Nigeria should not progress? So if NNPC has done something good, I'm not saying I have gone there or I've seen anything, but I'm just saying from the feelers, if NNPC has done something good, why is he a prophet of doom? Then this Auditor General's report, I think I said it in one of my videos, I think in 2021, that for almost 6 months, NNPC remitted zero naira to the coffers.
Yes, but looking at in 2024, NNPC released its audited financial statement where it declared 3.3 trillion naira net profit for the 2023 financial.
Yes, I'm talking about 2021. It did not remit anything. So
yes.
this Auditor General's report saying that almost 514 billion naira has not been accounted for. The funds have been diverted, misappropriated, and then delayed remittances and all that. And the question is, why would they not be accountable to the people? Why can't they come at, like, in every accounting period they publish their P&L for everybody to see? Monies will definitely be diverted, because when you are not accountable of the kind of management that will be going on in that organization, of course administrative malfeasance would be the order of the day in such an organization. And that's exactly what we are seeing, what we are witnessing. And I keep saying that until there is, no matter how you want to reorientate Nigerians, they will always tell you that sometimes I am forced to accept what is going on in China. The capital punishment being meted out to corrupt leaders in China, and anybody will come and tell me it is outdated. What is outdated about it? Because now the only language I can tell you, most of these people that we have given trust, who are holding various offices, various positions of authority in trust, who are supposed to take care of common patrimony, until there is, and I ask myself, why can't even a sitting president send your predecessor, maybe the former president of the country, to jail? The moment you do that, everybody will sit up. Okay. And that is the best, that's the truth. Imagine a small boy of about 17 that was jailed or sentenced to death for just what? For stealing broilers, chicken, eggs, totaling less than 20,000, but he was given the death penalty. But I can tell you that same judge assuming there was no presidential, there was no pardon from the governorship pardon. Yeah. What do you think would have happened to the small boy? And then I tell you, the same judge that handed down that kind of punishment to that boy, if that same judge is accosted with maybe a politician that has stolen money, maybe billions of naira, the next thing they'll come and tell you that, oh, there's a plea bargain. There's a plea bargain, because if they don't do plea bargain, they will not be able to, get the money back. And after the plea bargain, the next thing you hear is that maybe it will happen. A case in point is in this country. Of course, she was convicted, so I'm allowed to call her name, and that's the former MD of Oceanic Bank, Cecilia Ibru, in this country. We all know what happened, what went down with all the billions that was diverted for personal use. Okay. At the end of the day, what happened? She could not spend even a day in jail. A day. 3 months she was there. She was just there in incarceration somewhere. And after that, the then EFCC chair, then what it was Waziri, said that for the fact that she was convicted, that even if it's one day, that means that she cannot hold any political post or any appointment. But I can tell you, a woman like that knew so many people, one day maybe one of her friends might just become the president of this country, and then she will enjoy presidential pardon and will come out and then begin to rule. So people the sledgehammer should be used on any corrupt leader that has been found wanting. The very first day they will jail a former president in this country, every other person will sit up. Forget reorientation. Nigerians will not be reorientated, and I keep saying it, except something as harsh as this is done.
That means you have a very negative opinion and negative thought that things may not change.
No, but we know our people. We know the same.
When you say you know your people,
yes, now
the same people you know, don't they change? Can they not change?
We know.
All right, let's go to the phone lines 0906 00089 and the gladiators. What's your name and where you're calling us from? Osi, go ahead.
Thank you. Well, I want to tell that man, that analyst, Obasanjo is not a prophet of doom. But that anybody in this country that has been fully of what is happening in the NPP will not believe whatever the